Hello guys, we're going to read Ranita the Frog Princess. Okay, our genre this week is drama. Let's take a look at our story. The story starts with the setting, a list of players. This is used when the play is done on a stage and people are acting it out. Okay, so it says, long ago in Mexico, the Viceroy's hunting lodge and Chapultepec forest. Scene 1. Now I'm going to read it to you with the stage directions and with the settings and with everything so that you can understand. All right. In a forest clearing, men are frantically searching the ground. From a nearby stone well, Ranita watches but remains unnoticed. Man 1, frustrated. Keep looking. If we don't find that golden arrow, Man 2, we'll be on tortilla and water for the next month. Tortillas and water for the next month. Men grumbling, all agreeing. Felipe loud and demanding, well, have you found my golden arrow yet? Man 3, not yet, senor. Felipe, sweetly, hand over heart. It was a gift from my dear mother. Turning suddenly and hissing, find it or I will feed you to the jaguars, starting with my bumbling servant Pepe. It's his fault I missed my mark. Now out of my sight, all of you. All the men exit hurriedly. So everybody clears the stage. Felipe stomping his feet and whining, I want my golden arrow back. Ranita sitting on the top of the well, holding the golden arrow. You mean this golden arrow? Felipe, I think it says joyously. I'm sorry, my copy's not very good. Joyously. My golden arrow, you found it. You're a frog. Ranita, you were expecting a Mayan princess, perhaps? Felipe rolls his eyes. Well, I wasn't expecting a talking frog. Ranita, oh, I'm under a spell. I don't like to talk about it. Not my problem. Hand over the arrow. Ranita, plink, drops it down into the well. Looks like it's your problem now. No! What have you done, you foolish frog? If I am so foolish, Ranita says, how come I am the one with the arrow, while you are the one standing there talking to a rana, a frog? Felipe says, I would squish you right now, but you are only a frog, warningly. You want that golden arrow? Felipe, suspicious. In exchange for what? Ranita, a promise. Felipe really, oh, is that all? Ranita, a promise is a very serious thing. Felipe, yes, of course, go on. Ranita, if I rescue your golden arrow, you must promise to let me eat from your plato, sleep in your cama, and give me a beso when the sun comes up. Felipe just stares. Eat from my plate? Sleep in my bed? Kiss you? That is disgusting. Ranita, no promise. No golden arrow. Felipe crossing his fingers behind his back because he knows he's not going to keep his promise. I promise. Ranita fetches the arrow. Felipe bows and runs off. Espera! Ranita yells. Wait, I can't hop that fast. Hangs her head and begins to cry. He's gone. Now I'll never break this evil spell. Sorry, that's hard to see. 1 second. Enter wise woman, leaning on two canes. So this woman enters the stage. It doesn't feel very good, does it? Anita blows her nose. Please, no lectures today, old woman. My name is Vieja Sabiha. Sorry, wise old woman. You've already turned me into a frog. Isn't that enough? Ranita asked her. Vieja Sabiha. You wouldn't be a frog if you hadn't refused to give me a drink from this well so long ago. Ranita. I was a selfish child then. I have paid for that, haven't I? I have learned what it's like to be alone and forgotten. Remember, selfish is someone that only thinks about their self. Vihi- vihi- Viiha sabiha. Perhaps you have. Renita brightening. Then will you turn me into a girl again? Vihiha sabiha. No, but I will take you as far as the Viceroy's hunting lodge. You must make the leap from there. They both exit the stage. Scene 2 takes place in the hunting lodge with the Viceroy, his wife, some noblemen and women, all seated at a long banquet table. Servants scurry in and out with bowls of food. Servant 1, placing the bowl of soup before Viceroy. Supa, senor? Exasperated Viceroy answers, Si, si. Where is Felipe? Viceroy's wife wistfully. Dear boy, he is probably feeding the birds. Servant 2, to the cat. He means he's feeding the birds to the cat. They don't think Felipe is very nice. Servant 1 laughs. Felipe comes in. Felipe says, I am famished. What a day I've had today. First, I lost my golden arrow. Someone is shouting from the distance. Felipe says louder. Then I met this ridiculous, demanding. Enter Ranita. She comes in, running from the kitchen, chased by I can't tell, cook and servant, by the cook and the servants. Felipe. Frog. The cook says, you hop back here. To the servant, he says, stop her right now. Servant 1 tries to catch the frog. Ah, she's a slippery one. Servant 2, ooh, she bit me. Cook, get her, Pepe. Pepe catches Renita under the table, smiles, and lets her go. A commotion follows, and the cook and servants chase Renita. So the commotion, remember, is a lot of noisy confusion. The Viceroy. The Viceroy says, Basta, enough! Who is this creature? Felipe sneering, she's the nasty little frog who rescued my golden arrow. Renita says, and in return he promised to let me eat from his plateau, sleep in his cama, and give me a beso when the sun comes up. When the sun came up. Viceroy, did you make this promise? Felipe sullen. I don't remember. Viceroy's wife indignant. Even if he did, he is the Viceroy's son. The Viceroy says in a very serious and grave way, see, and the Viceroy's son keeps his promises. Pepe set a place for our guests. Felipe, but father, Viceroy's wife, Ernesto. Viceroy slams his fist on the table. Silencio, silence. Ranita hops on the table. Felipe is too stunned to speak. The Viceroy's wife is glaring. Everyone, I mean everyone. Eat, the viceroy says. Pepe puts bowl down in front of Felipe. Felipe gives a yelp. Pepe! Pepe innocently, see? Felipe disgusted. There is a fly in my soup. Pepe says, it's for the frog. Viceroy, excellent. Eat up, Felipe. Viceroy's wife revolted. Urgh. Scene 3 takes place in Felipe's bedroom. Felipe on the bed. I refuse to sleep next to a frog. Pepe! Pepe enters immediately. Si, senor. Felipe snappish. What took you so long? Hurry, tell my father I can't do this. Desperate. Tell him I'll get warts. Enter Viceroy, who's annoyed. With any luck, you will get one on your oath-breaking tongue, boy. Felipe whining. Father, the Viceroy says, you made a promise, Felipe. To Pepe, he says, help him keep his word, eh, Pepe? And the Viceroy leaves. Felipe throws a pillow at Pepe, falls on the bed and begins to wail. Oh! Pepe blows out the candle and sits in the chair. Hasta mañana. Until tomorrow. Sweet dreams, Felipe. Felipe growls. I will dream of roasted frog legs. Ranita says, I'm telling. Felipe says, bug breath. Ranita says, big baby. Pepe sighs. It's going to be a long night. The next morning, Ranita, in a cheerful way, wakes and says, Despierta, wake up, it's beso time. Felipe rubs his eyes, sees Ranita, and shrieks. Felipe whimpers, clutching his blanket. It wasn't a bad dream after all. Forget it, Frog. I am not kissing you. Ranita stubbornly says, you promised. Felipe says, well, I've just had a better idea. He kicks the chair to wake up the servant. Pepe! Pepe answers groggily. Si, senor. Felipe, you are sworn to obey me in all things. See? Pepe is confused. Si, senor. Felipe, in a smug way. Kiss the frog. Pepe shrugs and kisses Renita's cheek. No longer a frog, Ranita is now a beautiful Mayan princess. Felipe is dazzled. But who? Bowing, allow me to introduce myself. I am, Ranita finishes for him, the Spanish viceroy's rotten son, and I am the Mayan emperor's lucky daughter. Felipe and Pepe fall on their knees. Ranita, I have been enchanted for 200 years. Felipe looks up. You've been a frog for 200 years? What's so lucky about that? Ranita says, I'll tell you. As a princess, I could have ended up the wife of a spoiled brat like you. Instead, I found myself a prince. Takes Pepe's hands, a prince of a husband, that is. Pepe kisses the princess's hands while Felipe has a screaming tantrum. The same clearing in the forest as in scene 1, so we've gone back to the place next to the well. Felipe kicks a stone. If they think I'm going to their ridiculous wedding, ha! May they have a dozen ugly tadpole children. Enter Vieja Sabija. She says, Agua, water from the well, my son, before I die of thirst. Felipe snarling, I'm no water boy. I'm the viceroy's son. Get your own water, you old cucaracha. Vieja Sabija with gentle concern. Cockroach? It's very rude to speak to your elders that way. Has no one taught you manners? Felipe puzzled said, no. Lehigh Sabiha smiling wickedly. Well, pointing finger at Felipe, that is my specialty. Remember, specialty is what you're best at. Poof! Felipe the frog hops onto the top of the well, sorry. Lehigh Sabiha to the audience. And now you know how the frog prince ended up in that well. And that's the end of our story. I hope you like this story. I like Ranita the Frog Princess. Okay, see you next time where we'll discuss the story more. Bye bye.